Compete when you can't compare. Eat my dick to my underwear. Ten minutes. I think these guys are getting remakes, and I'm fucking destroying my LP. No, I ain't too proud. Seasons changing again. I think people have been feeding off remakes.
You want to play too? That'll be fun.
I'm waiting on you again. Are we on the World's Finals right now? I knew that it was doomed from the get-go. I got a feeling that it's time to let it go. Let it go. Well, we might be fucked, and I still never got to really fully test out the AP over the burning ability. My next damaging ability. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away. No, you don't understand what I'm going through. What you got to lose? Pick up the beat. Tell me, what are you gonna do? Be the flame, but we can't let it go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away. Stop then. Gears of War. A lot of good Halloween themed games. I could play Dead by Daylight as well. And I have another 10-minute VOD. Awesome! Over. Work is over. Oh! What the fuck, Faker? Maybe we can learn something by watching. But I fucking doubt it.
A lot of damage on that initial combo, but if he whiffs, it's gonna go bad. He does not, however, hits it when it
Said,
counts.
thanks for leaving game.
Nicely done there by
I didn't
Owner.
mean to.
Is able to clean up a kill and gonna get a lot of experience here too.
Work
on
is
Jarvan, so
over.
should put him actually pretty significantly ahead of Canyon. He's already up far. He's now level 6, just soaking XP there mid, and has the kill gold to his name.
Yeah, he's going to take away the vision from Damwon in the top side as well, taking away the pinks. He can start to threaten invades on the top side jungle or some kind of dives top lane.
I'm ready for this game.
With Canyon going to his second respawn bot side, Khan is on the weak side, trying to land the ulti there.
I'm so ready for this game.
Onto play again.
That my
Yeah, you can see it one
power
more time.
is gonna
Just all about the
surge.
setup here. Faker,
Calling
as soon
it.
as that chain lands, he tries to flash, but you're never going to create enough distance. Canyon flashing in, immediate follow-up.
Never?
Just really well done there from Damwon.
Yeah, no,
What if he
there's a
flashed the
right
wall?
there, but he hugs the wall as he moves around into river, so you can't actually get vision of him. Spots out Canyon going towards his top side camps, lands the EQ,
Oh!
attack, and the whip
Oh!
And clearly just knowing the damage thresholds there, knowing he could actually pick that up.
Hey,
was
it's you again.
Really well done.
They're feeling themselves after those kills. Showmaker going, whoa! You love to see it as Faker for Khan.
On, debating if he wants to step forward here. Recall will not get canceled as Faker takes the blast cone out to safety, but important to note, Damwon Kia again, the pressure is on them to find the win here. T1 have the luxury of
Feeling
losing
good.
another game, of going to game 5 before they have to be concerned.
So
And
maybe we
now
can
with
test
a lot
out
of
that
confidence,
AP
pretty
bull.
comfortably
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, topside is a little bit of a concerning disadvantage, though. You know, Khan had taken some really bad trades. Khan doing a good job very heavily on this Gragas. The Lucidity Boot's not going to do a ton for
Maybe
that
if I
lane
type it in
power,
game?
So, you know, after he was forced back off the TP,
Hunting
he
grounds
did
at
lose a
wreck
play.
size,
He did
littered with
lose about
remains
2
of
full
thousands
waves.
of her
That's the
victims,
disadvantage, and now
are sometimes called the Bone Sea.
And as we saw the midway
Without,
dying
hey
goes
buddy,
over,
you've
got an
you've got to
experiment, but
fucking,
Faker's down a level, and
you forgot to
Showmaker's
end your
soul
quote
was
there.
ahead in gold with the kill and with the CS difference. And Showmaker this year, including this series, is 10 and
Level
1.
7
One
oh my
record.
lord.
Never lost one
Let's
single
go,
game.
gentlemen.
So definitely quite a scary opponent to have on LeBlanc. His owner's just going to start up this Herald. Keria has moved here, and the problem T1 have had this series is Faker can't contest mid push because he's isolated so easily by the setup of Damwon's mid jungle. So they use their side laners to move mid and then start the objective to help Faker get to it himself. But right now he looks a little bit zoned away. Might turn into some kind of 4v4.
Lots going to come down to how the J4
We got this.
Diana ultimates
Am I still silver 3?
Tons of burst damage on both sides.
I'm currently
Big
taking
marks
reduced
in order
LP.
to isolate Khan over the wall a lot more
Let's go for a
immediate
nice
versatility.
early pick here.
Does mean a trade-off in damage. Maybe this is going to be the concession here, giving up the Herald. T1 not wanting to overpush for that one.
I just felt like the positioning from Beryl was too good. Him playing in the pit there pretty much stops you from being able to move forward whatsoever. If T1 all step forward to actually try to contest that Herald take, well, it's a free engage for Beryl over the wall with his ultimate available. So T1, that is one of the disadvantages you have in these early skirmishes. Enchanters like Lulu early game are just so much weaker than that of the Rakan.
And a lot of the times during the series, the reason T1 can walk up and contest these Heralds is because they have something that makes Damwon scared. Lissandra ultimates, like Kennen on the flank, some kind of engage from their support, so they have to back away. But in that case, they didn't really have anything to threaten Damwon to push them back. Faker was isolated off to the side. Jace could only really poke, so you're just looking at a Jarvan engage with a Lulu ultimate, so not a lot of damage. Damwon not showing any signs of fear here, even though they're down match points, will secure themselves a Herald.
And I think it's good that you highlight the J4 here in this context, because the champion has been incredibly good against teams with a lot of immobile AD carries, or immobile carries rather. And while there is a channel inside of Damwon Kia, both Showmaker and Canyon highly mobile, very
Fuck,
easy for them
my
to get out of that
summoners.
Cataclysm, not nearly the reliable engage of the Lissandra like you highlighted.
Not
Really
worth.
pressure on Owner to get something done. He has been a standout in the series thus far, but this champion, if you start to fall behind, feels a lot less impactful.
You also don't really have dive buddies
Oh, I
in this
missed one.
composition, so it feels more like one of those games where you ult in and then you just flag and drag back, and you're kind of just using it to create space to try to lock someone down, allow your carries to really follow up, because there's no dive buddy here. You're not going to just ult into the backline and one-shot someone with the follow-through.
Yeah, 4 ranged champions if you count Jace on the side of T1 with the Jarvan. And we talked a lot about teamfights being kind of decided by T1 when they're running the Yasuo comps and the Kennen comps. The second they pull the trigger, Damwon kites back with their single target damage and then re-engages with things like Draven. This time around, it's the opposite way around. Damwon have been the ones to look for the engage with Rakan, with Gragas, with Kiana. And T1, the only real zone they have is the Jarvan ult, as Azael correctly pointed out there, and he'll just EQ away. So need to make sure these 4 ranged champions can get back far enough to dodge the engage from Damwon and then turn with the damage from the culling, from the roots, from the Everfrost.
And something that Damwon is so good at doing is not just executing on these engages, but threatening them. Their setup around objectives is one of the things that anyone who plays against them will talk about, how it feels so oppressive to try to walk over to a dragon because Damwon clear out vision effectively.
Did I get a
sweep
drop?
out any possible TP wards. They're playing from multiple angles, which makes it really difficult to approach with one of these style of compositions that T1 has.
And they just choke you out of your own jungle, and then they just have creativity to facilitate their setup, whether they're looking for single picks, whether they're looking for flank engages with things like the Kennen. They know what they want to do, and they're very decisive around how they approach the objective, whether it's starting or turning, or committing to the objective and getting out or looking for picks. And Damwon still control towards the top side, still have Herald in their back pockets, and similar to last game, Keria is just being the defensive tool to try to negate any kind of play.
Damwon Kia pushing in on the top side of the map, playing with confidence, certainly have more than enough CC to lock up and take down a single
Certainly.
member. T1, who are on match point. T1, the expected underdogs in this series, a team full of rookies. Outside of Faker and Carrier, every player getting trained on this lineup, but now the double chain's coming in.
Bugs.
Second chain gonna lack barrel there with the ball. Canyon ready to go in, moving through with the water blade and finding the kill. It's a clean dive from Damwon Kia.
Yeah, as expected, once again, you're playing an immobile mage in Rise with no flash now in the mid lane. TP coming up to Gumayushi. That's gonna be
Khan coming
Very
in.
good.
Here comes the Gragas. Body slam can leap forward, trying to fire back with a little bit of damage onto Ghost. Immediately gets interrupted. Gale Force through will not be enough. And Ghost gonna grab the kill.
Damwon off to a good early game start here. They have the Herald. They're going to get the Dragon once again. Neutral objectives always going in Damwon's favorite feels like this series. And again, we talked about it. Immobile Mage into LeBlanc, into Rakan, into Kiana. Have to play so safe. Faker dying twice now. Gumayushi was winning out in the isolated bot 1v1. Gets TP'd on and dies. And now all of this winning lane in bot that you once had that's kept T1 with push in top because Carrier can move there has now faded away.
And part of the difficulty is that because Damwon actually took the Herald early, Carrier hasn't been able to lane. They haven't been able to utilize that 2v2 advantage. He's been trying to match these plays, and Faker could be in trouble.
And if the man
Good side
Faker
steps.
could be in trouble, but he's still, there's just too much CC. It's a pile-in. Faker instantly taken down. Owner on the way in. Now, one key, a lot of members standing under this tower, but still, Jace in the meantime is getting a lot of advantages on the top side, taking down plates, but Damwon Kia might just break the first tower of the game. It's a bit of a race here, multiple members in the mid lane, but that last plate's so strong when there's so many members in the area, and T1 will be able to grab the first tower of the game. Kana just barely finishing that one off.
Yeah, you can see the gold there. Kana's up 1.3k gold, whereas Faker is down almost 2k gold in the mid lane, and there's really not much he can do. Well, the only thing that can happen is Owner and Carrier can play to protect Faker in the mid lane, but Damwon are always the ones to find options to play aggressive in the mid jungle and support 3v3.
And this is why it's feeling so much more like game one, where Damwon was the one that was the aggressive team. T1 was having to be on the back foot, having to actually respond to these plays from Damwon, and just were unable to do it. They're so good when they're dictating the pace of the game, when they're choosing these plays. The trap triggers the W, nails the root, the TP comes through, and there's just really no way out of this one for them.
Yeah, great early game map plays coming in here for Damwon. Feels like Damwon can kind of do this on every wave in mid lane, and you have to think back to previous games that T1 played with the creativity and draft. Over things like LeBlanc, they're ready to match with Lissandra, but this early rotation rise allows now Damwon to counter-pick mid lane, have a setup jungler, and control the early game. But for now it looks like T1 are there to contest. 3 minutes on the next Dragon. Herald spawning once again soon.
You can see the Damwon look like a very different team when they have this much agency, this many champions who can get fights started on their own. Khan, the Kiana, the Gragas. T1 looking to collapse, looking to punish. Gumayushi's still strong, all things considered, in the 1v1 matchup. Ghost.
He still gets the timbers.
Not in tab, sorry. Plated steel caps.
No, you got it right the first time.
I don't really know Silas that well, okay?
I'm old school that way. I'm holding on to that one. Owner gonna body block the shots though, and T1, good use of their man advantage on the bottom side, getting a lot of pressure down. It's Kana who's gonna need to survive rather on the top side. So you have Canyon and Khan in the area.
The minimap just tells the story of the draft and of the game, right? 2 towers down on side lanes for T1 with winning sides, and mid lane tower about to fall for Damwon. It just shows both win conditions perfectly on how the map plays out for both these teams. Damwon gonna get the next Herald, so 3 neutral objectives in their pocket now.
Ah, fuck.
Showmaker will dash away from Owner.
I'm really concerned about how they're going to keep Faker relevant in this game. I mean, he's just so far behind at this point. He's not going to be a threat whatsoever. You know, he is building the utility with the Merc Treads, and now they got to catch.
Owner gonna make it out to safety, but Showmaker's getting scarier and scarier. Already has the Luden's Echo on top of the Sork shoes. He is looking to one-shot people in this game.
I mean, Faker's level 9, right? You know, he's the same level as the bot laners. The support's almost catching him at this point, and he's going to be so far off as Everfrost. And really, on Rise, you're looking towards 2 items before you start to become that bigger threat, and that is just so far away.
Looks like T1 will try to salvage the issue by putting Faker on a side lane, giving Gumayushi the mid push to have some mid prio, and let him scale up and farm the side lanes, get back up in XP, keep pushing out sides, and then being relevant by just grouping up with his team to negate Damwon's snowball.
And I think in the same way that Khan playing weak side had to rely on the rest of his team to try to bring him back into the game, now Faker must do the same with the rookie members of this lineup. Again, carry a decent amount of experience. He has a ton of experience. Certainly the most veteran player on the stage, but Gumayushi, Owner, Kana, all players who were brought up in the T1 system, all trainees brought up, and yes, they've made it this far in the semifinals, but can they bring it home when Faker's been put so far down?
I want to see how Kana is going to perform in what is a very high-pressure game here. This is match point. He could potentially take down Damwon. You could really see the nerves in the Kennen game last time around. This game, he is the one playing from a big advantage. Faker is way behind. He has got to really rise to the occasion here and show that he can hang with the best of them.
Yeah, and it feels like Showmaker has been the consistent factor for Damwon all year long, this year especially. You look
No!
at their MSI run, he's just blind picking Zoe and carrying games single-handedly. Despite losing that Titan and losing to RNG in that best of 5, their consistent factor was Showmaker. You know he's a man when he's ahead. He's not going to make mistakes. He's going to close out the game properly, and he can be a voice from ahead to snowball the game.
Playing with fire a little bit there in the mid lane, but I think it's certainly a good call out, Cadril. When you're a 2-0-1 LeBlanc, mid lane tower is already down. It's absolutely full control over this game and over this map. Faker has to be so careful about stepping forward. Canyon can walk up here, but can't afford to overcommit. Owner in the area. Gonna get knocked back there by the Herald as the charge does come through, but they won't be able to grab a second tower on the bottom side.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, T1 hanging on for now, but the question is, when do you make your move forward? When can you actually get on the map and be proactive? Is it just game 1 all over again, where you're playing Jace Rise and you're sitting back and you're praying for a win condition through sides? Because right now, the gold lead isn't massive, but Damwon are dictating everything. Damwon are going to get this next dragon. They are going to force you to come to them for that third dragon fight, and that's where things are going to get really, really scary for T1 because the clock is ticking.
And if you are pushing into Fog of War against the LeBlanc, when you have so few reliable lockdown tools to stop her, it is incredibly difficult to play the game. Yes, you can polymorph her. Yes, you can go for the Everfrost if she leaps directly into you, but Showmaker's not a player that's going to let that happen, and Jarvan is not a champion who provides CC fast enough to stop it.
Yeah, target selection is going to be the aim of the game for T1 here with their kind of backs against the wall because they're just getting pushed so far back into their own jungle. Faker's Root, Faker's Everfrost, and Carry as W, the Polymorph. Those are the spells that can really lock down Showmaker. Anything else can be dodged away from. So they need to make sure that target selection is crisp, as Beryl, dash away from Owner. Similar to the Lissandra game, we saw Faker shut down Showmaker in the Dragon fights. The same thing needs to happen this time around, but they have less tools to do it.
Yeah, they have less tools and they have less immediate tools. So even the root from the Rise, needs to be prepped. You have to do the spell flux, then the root to actually land that. There's the delay, as you said, on the Jarvan knock-up as well. So we'll see if Carry can find that instant polymorph or something along those lines. Gumayusi is very strong right now. He is ahead. He actually skipped boots to just rush straight to a 2-item power spike here. Does have the Gale Force, has the Essence Reaver, so he's going to crit Lucian. And it's something that scales really, really well now with this style of build and with an enchantment.
Definitely something we need to keep our eye on, especially as he was the player with the big leads in the laning phase, almost 200 CS to the 159 of Ghost. And Ghost is doing what he can to catch back up in this game, but he is just going to be utility at this moment, whereas Gumayusi has the damage to carry a fight if he's positioned to do so. Always has to be careful and can never afford to get chained here.
Guys!
Turn against him so rapidly. He does not have the cleanse, he does not have the QSS. He opted for the exhaust, which will mitigate the damage, but if the CC comes through, you know Damwon Kia have to follow up.
This game is going to play out exactly as the last 3 games have played. Cross maps traded for side lane towers, and then matching towards mid. That's exactly what's going to happen when this next dragon spawns in 3 minutes. Both teams are going to group up mid, and they're going to go aggressive.
Gumayusi, Gale Force is traded back and forth. Canyon in the midst of the entire team. The knockup is there, Wild Growth, but now Gumayusi is overstayed as well. Carry needs to move forward to buy block. That's going to be the catch. Now Faker knocked back the entire team, and he's just so squishy. That's the lockup coming in from Showmaker. He's fishing for a few more kills. T1 pulling back in the mid lane. Damwon Kia, the flash forward, the body slam. Carrier gonna get locked up. No, the flash comes out, but Showmaker still manages to find the kill on a rampage. He will not go out quickly. Now Showmaker creeping in. Oh, baby, not the next Faker. Showmaker popping off.
Welcome to the show. 5-0-1. Damwon up against it, and who else but Showmaker, their star, to push them to a potential game 5 here. He is looking amazing in this game number 4. And T1 went for a proactive play. You could feel the desperation a little bit. They want to make
Get him off me!
They want to find a look here. And Gumayusi knows that he's going in with the ultimate. He follows the Gale Force with one of his own. The exhaust comes through on Canyon, but the CC is there for so long.
Yeah, and as you see it in
That's
the
such a good ult to steal.
Replay, Gumayusi is the one who tries to start the game in a snowballing effect by going aggressive onto Ghost and pushing him back and getting a summoner to focus. There's no objective there available, even if the play does work out. And who's ready to respond to mistakes and overextensions? It's Showmaker. He arrives just in time and cleans up, and he's going to solo kill Faker!
Oh, Showmaker showing up here when it matters most. Game 4, 6-0-1. You just cannot outplay a LeBlanc that is that fed.
Absolutely. And it's just such a battle between these two legendary teams. It's T1, the greatest organization of all time. Faker, the undisputed greatest player of all time, coming up against Damwon, who has been on such an incredible run over these last 2 years, trying to build up their resume, to challenge as one of those
Fuck.
sprints, as one of those organizations that will never be forgotten. And they're making a great case for themselves.
And now, when you look ahead towards what could be a Game 5, we're not there yet, but it's a 4K lead, and Damwon Kia are in control. Damwon Kia trying to push away the T1 legacy as the most famous, as the most successful organization in the world, and certainly the most successful organization coming out of the LCK to go back to finals, to try to defend their trophy.
Shit.
If they can do that, they become the next name on a list alongside T1. Below them, organizations like Gen.G, formerly Samsung, who have tried to make it, who have found multiple titles. Damwon Kia will be up there with the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and it all comes off the back of Showmaker. 4,000 gold ahead of Faker as he looks for his one step closer to a 4th world title. 3 levels up as well. Showmaker dominates the entire map right now. Look at where T1 are standing. No one can walk up on any lane until they see where Showmaker is. 30 seconds on the next dragon will put Damwon on Mountain Soul Point.
As a stopwatch, as a 10-stack Medjai's, no one can afford to walk alone through Fog of War on the side of T1. Showmaker going to be able to easily pick up these kills if he sees a single opportunity. So hard now for T1 to find a way to play out of this game. Maybe they can find a pick on someone who isn't Showmaker. Maybe they can lock down Ghost, but Barrel's in the area, Canyon's in the area. T1 have to be careful. Every decision they make with Showmaker in the fight is high risk at this point in the game.
And your hope as T1 is to somehow lock down Showmaker, burst him down, because he is the gold lead for Damwon. If you can somehow eliminate that player, you can maybe make something happen, but is it desperation time here for T1? Are they willing to do something like a risky Baron or some sort of crazy engage and try to flip the game?
Yeah, T1 have to look for some kind of super play right now. They're just so far behind and they don't have the tools to negate the LeBlanc in fights. Forcing Nash or forcing some kind of play is what they have to do, because the longer this game goes, the worse it gets. Showmaker is only going to get stronger, and they're on Mountain Soul Point now, Damwon. So T1 pushing down mid, haven't found anything.
Ooh.
T1 are so far behind that even looking at that Baron costing the Dragon and a tier 2 tower, they're only getting further down as Damwon Kia look to bring us to a Game 5.
And T1 didn't even clear out the pit. There's still a ward sitting there, so there was
Oh,
no risk
fuck!
Damwon. You're never going to check into the river when you see T1 isn't starting the Baron, and T1 just didn't clear that out. So Khan pushes for free on bot side, takes the tier 2. Canyon solos out that dragon, and the 3.
I don't know how the fuck she just did that, but she did, dude.
Pick up the farm and continue that march towards what looks to be that inevitable 5th game.
Faker clearing out on the sideline, have to grab as much farm as humanly possible. But again, T1 in general just have to grasp at straws, have to look for singular opportunities, have to hope and pray that Damwon overextend or overcommit. In an even fight, there is no way they can come out on top. Maybe if Showmaker's off on a side lane, but you can see he's focused, he stays grouped with the team. Barrel fishing for an engage. Gonna go fast, activate the Shurelias, but will not find the engage. T1 holding on, holding their ground, but eventually this Baron will be threatened by Damwon Kia, and they will need to find a way to force a fight.
Yeah, T1's only strong point right now is Gumayushi. He's up a level on Ghost, and we've seen what Ghost does against Lucians in mid lane when they're ahead against Rogue. Hans was able to find the picks to get Rogue back in the game. Can Gumayushi do the same on T1? Has the Lucian, is up in CS, and has a Lulu next to him, Owner.
Locked up, just a bit of poke damage now.
Let's go.
She's still stepping forward. Big calling, trying to isolate Ghost. Showmaker coming in off the side. That's going to be the Gragas on the backside. Keep your eyes on Khan. Body slam flash is an option. He's going to move in. Faker flashing over the wall, just trying to make it out safely. The Canyon on the chase.
Oh, I fucked up hard there.
There is Barrel. The gold lead too big. Damwon Kia dominated the early game. And they're going to remind T1 why they were the favorites coming into this series as they run them down. Showmaker, though, low on mana, leaping back. Gumayushi, maybe he can get the shutdown. No. Holding on for now. Carry and Gumayushi want to get something done.
And I choked very hard.
And now Carry has to run for the hills. The body slam flash, the ace coming in for Damwon Kia.
Yeah, Showmaker just playing with them at this point, chasing them all down. 5 kills to 0. I think Damwon can turn towards this Baron. Showmaker has TP. This is an absolute statement game.
20 gold.
Damwon backs against the wall. Match point down.
Scratch that.
And they're demolishing them.
20
It's
gold.
Obliteration here. 5,000 gold lead here for Showmaker over Faker. Him and Canyon working incredibly well in the early game to punish Faker. Then Barrel getting involved. This squad being so proactive, so aggressive, always pushing their advantages here in this 4th game.
Yeah, this is what happens when you give agency like LeBlanc and Kiana into Rise to the best jungler in the world and the new modern era mid laner, the best mid laner of the LCK. They just run you over. Showmaker can just take over in these fights. There's no one who can lock him down, and even when you think you've got him, he pops the stopwatch.
And that's that luxury item we talk about. That 5K gold lead, he's happy to spend about 600 of that into a stopwatch to keep him alive in these plays. This man can play on the edge of madness every single time, keeping those stacks alive and well, keeping those damage numbers high. 3.8K from Gold Blanc.
And now he bought a Zonias, just completed the full Zonias off of that. Bad goes to worse when you see that inventory now on Showmaker. And for T1, you're hoping for the miracle, but realistically, you're planning for Game 5. You're thinking about what you could change. And to me, this series has been defined by proactivity. The teams that can go aggressive, that can dictate plays. And in Game 4, it has been all about Damwon. It was T1 going for this 5th pick Lulu, trying to dominate lane. Barrel circumventing it entirely by moving around the map. And Faker just getting picked on by this aggressive squad.
Good shit, gentlemen.
Easy for him to just threaten with all of these cooldowns as Damwon Kia push in on the top side.
Oh my
Baron
god.
powered minions backing him up as they break down these tier 2s.
This Poppy is a god.
In the mid lane when Faker just tries to get anything back on the side lane. Echoes of Game 1. They're important to remember. T1, they got this far in the series because they've adapted.
Let it
because
go.
they've showed us in the past. With that said, Showmaker a constant threat, stopping them from getting anything else in this game.
Yeah, Damwon playing on 2 lanes here, just pushing T1 back. Showmaker single-handedly forcing T1 back to their nexus, which allows the rest of Damwon to push forwards. This top tier 3 is going to fall 30 seconds on the Mountain Dragon, so maybe Damwon want to play it safe after this siege and just beeline towards the Dragon and pick that up. But for now, they're in full control.
Showmaker now 16 as well. Really low cooldown on that ultimate, and he's going in on Owner.
Big damage to the Pinion there to body block the chain, though. Keeping him alive as the Sigil of Silence cannot be proc, Sigil of Malice, rather. Damwon Kia breaking into the mid lane, looking to break down their second inhibitor. Again, slow, controlled victory. They are still on the cusp of losing. They are still 1-2 down. They need to win here to bring it back for Game 5, to bring it back for Silver Scrapes and their shot at the finals.
And Damwon are the ones pushing T1 to Game 5. T1 are not the ones pushing Damwon to Game 5.
Yeah.
And it's all your lives on the line. Everything you've been working for this whole year, everything Faker's been working for the last 5 years is in the next game, because this one all but feels done.
And a lot of people were saying this one wasn't going to go to 5 games. They thought Damwon would be the one stomping it, but it was Damwon here having to fight back against T1, who had an incredible Game 2, an incredible Game 3 here.
And this is the Damwon we expected coming into this series. Game 1 in this game, just utter domination from start to finish. T1 in their wins, just weathering objectives, having better drafts, having better late game scaling, and then just outplaying teamfights with lockdown and CC. But Damwon, all that's left is the bot push, and T1 are hoping for a miracle.
Holding on, praying. Level 14 now for Faker, only 2 items under his belt, 28 minutes in. It's a Dragon Soul, a Mountain Soul for Damwon Kia. The burst damage will not be enough to kill most of these members. They have to focus, they have to find a single target, and they have to cross their fingers hoping that someone overextends or overcommits, but it's a slow, controlled siege from Damwon Kia. Showmaker now just showing on vision. T1
Run!
play carefully here. The calling out just to come down for a little bit of poke. Khan steps in, big damage onto Owner. That's the lockup curtain call coming in. You have to feel
Did
like
I kind of just bait her?
Forced away from the tower. This will be the inhibitor tower falling. 3rd inhibitor to follow. Khan is just barely able to make it out.
And with the supers crashing in mid, crashing in top, the bottom inhib will fall. Damwon closing the noose here, looking to finish up this game.
Leading T1 out, 3 inhibitors down. They can wait, they can take their time, but Showmaker keeps leaping forward. So much damage on Dakaria. T1, they fall well to the match point, but they'll get knocked down in Game 4. T1 holding on for as long as they can, but they know this one is
They done
over.
for?
Damwon Kia pushing in, breaking the brace. Showmaker, legendary, a triple kill to finish, and Damwon Kia will bring us to Game 5.
11-0-3, Showmaker. He wants to be the face of League of Legends. He is the face of modern LCK era, and he is trying to make his legend.
Oh, I thought I was
here
fucking
at
D-ranked.
Worlds. What an incredible game against Faker's Rise, utilizing his signature LeBlanc and just dominating T1.
That game was extremely dominant from Damwon, yes, but I feel like these 2 teams are just so evenly matched with different strengths, right? Damwon's strength just coming from more flexibility, more draft kind of flexibility in terms of shutting down what Damwon want to do and then utilizing the tools they're given to make sure they win the fights around objectives.
Let's go.
Damwon's just well-oiled machines from start to
I think I got a challenge done, didn't I?
Condition is, and they try their best to execute upon it.
Gentlemen, what a best of 5. We're on the cusp of Game 5. This was the matchup that everyone wanted, and now we get to see these teams face off in a Game 5 as Damwon Kia's dream of back-to-back titles stays alive. Don't go anywhere.
Coffee! It's just as good as cold. Oh my god. Let's go again! That was sick. No way! The exclusive Happy Overload emote! Only on Prime Gaming! Oh, wow! Oh my god, the balls, no ban! Whoa. You were the Poppy! You were fucking insane, dude! You were a god! Good G, good. Woo! Thank you. Doo-doo! 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 Faker feeling large this game. Unfortunately, not enough traction to get the early game going. Yes. I also have nice tits. I feel sick! Oh, I'm drinking his coffee! I'm hungry! It is 2-2! We're taking this one to game 5! I have so much RP on the line. Oh, fuck. Camille and GP. I couldn't really tell if the AP was helping or not. That AP, if I earn my levels, I forget how the AP works. It goes on by time. $30 is really where it spikes. I guess that's why the other one has more advantage, because it's just consistent damage. I'm gonna go with the burn. We need a solid early game. It's looking like, sounding like, looking, talking, sounding like, walking the talking, balking. Oh. Oh man. Oh man. My God, coffee. Well, that is a scary looking team. I'm going to perform. I am going to perform. I'm going to perform. I'm going to perform.
But to go to game 5. We've got the silver scrapes, Vedius, but it was Dom.
I kind of want to pop
who
this
had
up on the
push
second monitor
T1
here.
to that 5th and final game.
You know, at the beginning of the day, I was
So, I'm going
nervous
to.
that people were overhyping the series. You know, we were reaching.
Yeah, he said that to me actually before the show started. He was like
cyberpunk levels of excitement.
Boom,
you know,
I
and
did
the
it.
series wasn't going to deliver.
I
I'm
did it,
so
I did it.
happy that I was wrong, because the truth is that T1 have leveled up so dramatically in such a short space of time.
Actually, they
Coming into Worlds
underperformed.
to the level that they're at now, pushing down into this.
They got this.
Down responding by saying, no, we're still the defending world champion.
And all of the best matchups that we have ever had in the history of League
Watch, you'll
always
see.
have some ingenuity in it. And you know, these picks that are not necessarily
Yeah?
foreseen coming out and
Oh my
adding that
God, those
extra
cameras are
flavor,
too
it feels
crystal
like
clear.
we have had every ingredient so far.
Well, you speak of the ingenuity, and we have talked a lot about that, particularly coming from the support role. But Vedius
Let's go.
as well. This is a pick, yes, had been played already here at Worlds, but in terms of priority within this series, has been rocketing up the priority list, and it's the Jhin.
It is 4 for 4, you know, perfect, one could say. The fact that Jhin has been so important in this series, I think that goes to show often the best thing about best of fives is how you have that like within series meta developing. But crucial, I think what we've seen is that Ghost is the most comfortable on his Jhin pick. It is a champion that he has a skin for. It is a champion that he continues to show dominance on. And when Gumayusi takes away from him, we see positioning errors from Ghost. We see him getting caught out, not having the same impact in team fights. And so it seems like both teams are fighting to secure this pick so that they can leverage an advantage in the bot side of the map.
And it's such a unique pick because it allows Ghost
This
to
gave our
follow
jungler a
up
late
so
start.
many of these plays that Showmaker or Canyon are making screens away, and the accuracy has really been there to capitalize on it. So I feel like it's
Camille
a bit
mid?
more edging towards the side of Ghost as far as the importance of the champion.
Almost.
That just makes taking it away, you know, a goal there.
Well, so 4 for 4, as you mentioned, we will have eyes on that champion select then to see who might secure the Jhin in the 5th and final game, or whether or not it will be removed from the table. But if we're really going to talk about the way that Damwon pushed themselves to a game 5 here, you look no further than the mid lane. Showmaker showing us why it is that he's challenging Faker to be the greatest of all time on that LeBlanc.
And part of the reason why this series is really delivering as being one of those greats is that Damwon are challenging Faker's record of the back-to-back world champions, and to do that, you have to go through the king. So they've focused him over and over and over. Multiple mid-dives before these replays even came in, all focusing on him, racking up the deaths early on, getting Showmaker fed, buying up the Medjais, being
Oops.
able to absolutely dominate this game from ahead
Ah!
because of so much early investment by the entire Damwon team to put Faker behind.
It was an early 0-3 start for Faker after that targeting that you're talking about, Kobe, and as we know, Vidius, with a lead, with the agency that it affords Showmaker on the LeBlanc, this game looked clean.
I mean, I feel that a lot of this series has been about these two mid laners, right? The fact that they have both been stepping up.
It's all about the
we've
mid lane.
seen counter answers throughout the series. We saw the Lissandra being used to deal with LeBlanc earlier on, and I know many pro players have often shied away from a pick if it doesn't work in the series, but Showmaker immediately comes back and says, no, it was just that time the Lissandra shut me down. There's no Lissandra this game, and look at what happens when you give this man the ability to solo carry a game.
Yeah, look what happens. He ends up with a 20-stack Medjais and is legendary. And,
I mean, the stats absolutely nutty.
I don't
for,
get the
Showmaker
Magi's
across
thing.
the entirety of World.
Why-
Cup
what makes it good?
LeBlanc in the mid lane. And so I'll bring it right back to where we started the day. It was our featured matchup for a reason. It is the mid lane. I love the call towards Lissandra because while it's not necessarily going to put up the same kind of, you know, flashy insta kills, hops over walls and things like that, it is still effective in the utilization, especially when it's in the hands of a player like Faker.
And the important thing is when you look at
Okay.
these stats, yeah, Faker is going
Good
to
play.
look bad. But the truth is that he isn't the same Faker from when he started his career of like solo killing his opponent and trying to be the focus of his team. He's playing for his team. We see him roaming top lane every chance he gets. He is looking to realm warp bot to make plays for his team. He is setting the rest of his carries up to be the main focus, and he is doing a damn good job of it.
So here we are. We're heading into games 5, and we have to reset the stakes for both of these teams. For T1, it's trying to get back to a world final for the first time since 2017, where yes, they fell short in defending their own title from 2016. That's 5 years of separation for a player like Faker since the last time he hoisted that trophy. And of course for Damwon, not only is it about defending their title, but it's about hunting down that same kind of dominance, that same dynasty that we saw T1 create a number of years ago.
yeah, it would be incredible
Fuck.
because they are trying trying to be the new dynasty, the new LCK taking over. Plus, you add on top of that, it is Khan's last series, Khan's last attempt here at getting a world title. He's been on so many world championship teams, but not gotten one himself. So they also want to do it for him.
So when we kind of look at the game, the things that I'm paying
Fuck!
attention to is number one. For Dom,
I had abilities, I didn't use them.
that strong mid-jungle duo. They need the winning matchup because when we see
That
them
is
find success,
my
it
fault.
is when those two are working together and enabling each other. Meanwhile, for T1, I think that they actually have showcased a lot more options. They can carry through Kana, they can carry through Gumayushi, but the way in which they do that is by finding so finding ways to get him out onto the map and actually setting up his side laners for success is, I think, crucial for T1.
So let me ask you,
Itchy.
does that come from Faker's pick and champion select and affording him something that has more safety, or is it about actually protecting him and actually putting some resources into making sure he doesn't go down in the mid lane?
So much of this, for me, comes down to the supports carrying. The supports have been so impactful. So many of these dives towards mid, controlling the mid-bottom river transition for so many of them. I feel like both of them have been stars for the team at different times and is going to be incredibly effective.
I don't always do this, but we're going to 5 games, and both these teams have been trading blows every step of the way. So I'm going to give you both an opportunity. Kobe, I know you called 5 games, you called it in favor of Damwon. You were 3-1 in favor of Damwon as well. Are either of you starting to think that this might actually go the way of T1, given what we've seen here today?
I think I was right the first time around.
Okay, he's going to stick with Damwon Kobe. Or,
T1 is back on blue, right?
I'll get confirmation on that as quickly as possible, and I'll let you know. They
So
are back on blue.
T1 being back on blue, for me,
Ooh.
I'm flipping. I'm going T1.
Woo! There you have it, everybody. We've got a split desk, and that means the best game 5 is just around the corner. Everything now comes down to one last game with a spot in the World Finals on the line. Can Damwon Kia make it back-to-back, or will T1 return for the first time since 2017? Find out after the break.
Yes,
Continue with some
they
Silver Scrapes.
will. Little over ambitious there, don't you think, Annie? Whoop. How the fuck? That's too bad. Got any candies for me? No. Thank you. Thanks for having me, boss.
2021. One of these teams is on the cusp of a World Finals appearance. For Damwon, it means defending their trophy. For T1, it means keeping their legacy alive.
And there's only one thing I want. Close game 5. We got the game 5. The series has been incredible. These two legendary organizations battling back and forth. And Showmaker, what a performance in game number 4.
Indubitably.
What a staple. What a statement game to drive Damwon home to this match point.
Fuck.
T1, I expect, has chosen blue side as it's been so powerful. Jin looks like the strongest champion in the series. LeBlanc in Showmaker's hands with no
Keep running.
lockdown is practically unbeatable. So this is the draft. This is the draft where you put everything on the line. This is the draft where Comer is against Faker. And I think draft has been the most important thing for T1 in this series.
Absolutely. To me, it's about proactivity. One word. They need to be able to play aggressive. They need to be able to dictate the pace of the game. It is the LeBlanc ban here on blue side for T1. Not going to be willing to give that to Showmaker. And the question becomes, are there any adaptations from Damwon? Do you leave up one of the
Smite coming out
to try to trade for the Jin? If you think they're going to go first pick Jin, you could do something like leaving up TF and say, all right, you can only have one. You must choose here.
And I think the luxury that T1 have bought themselves by winning 2 in a row, by being the team to make it the match point first, is side selection in the final game. Blue side, which has been so strong, which has allowed for so many incredibly powerful first picks and counter picks that have been not super relevant in the context of this series. Something we have to keep our eye on, and you can tell every team knows that every single ban matters at this point in the game. They are taking their time with each and every one of their options.
Smart adaptation here from T1. Last time they were on blue side, they banned TF.
Faker
Now
pops
Damwon
off
have
here.
3 bans. TF, Yuumi, and Aphelios. One of these 3 champions will go through to T1 now that they haven't banned the TF away themselves. So there's going to be one of those champions. Do Damwon want to find some kind of trade-off by not banning one and picking the other?
She's strong as hell.
Then in that situation, you just trade the OPs. But the question is,
I
what
focus
OPs
Master
do you
Yi.
leave up? Or are they not even willing to do so? This is going to be really interesting here. Aphelios is also available.
Yeah.
So there's Aphelios, there's Jin, there's TF. They're going to ban TF, and they're going to say you can only have one. Do you go to the Aphelios that Gumayusi has been
he's
so
smiling.
incredible on? 15-2 on this pick this year.
Are they going to go for a Lucian pivot here?
Nami is up too. They could go Nami Lucian or even take it top, but it's the Aphelios, the legendary pick here for Gumayusi.
And this is everything in game 5 on an 80 carry who is so young.
Interesting how they do
Prioritize
picks
his
and
first
bans.
pick. You prioritize his comfort, the player who carried, the player
They changed
who
it up,
takes-
huh?
And the last series they played was massive in that game 3. Now gets his hands on his most comfortable champion, on his best champion. This is Damwon Kia throwing down the gauntlet.
Man, this is what dreams are made of. Game 5 for Gumayusi. You know, this young player, this rookie player going up against Damwon. You're in Game 5 of the World Semifinals. You get your pick. You get your 15-2 Aphelios. Ball's in your court.
Comfort is indeed key in a game like this, but Damwon are no strangers to these kind of situations. They've been in 5-game series before, and they must have known going into this draft that Aphelios was going across to Gumayusi. They're going to match it with a Ziggs, and it looks like Kana fancies his hands at a Kennen. Syndra still up, Jungle's still up, and that's going to be a Kennen match into the graves.
And while Ziggs has not been a first priority ban, he was frequently banned in the second phase when they were trying to pinch the 88 carry pool. This champion has 2 faces. 1, you can leave him alone on the bot side, ignore him, and free up your support to roam. 2, you can draft something to make a kill lane, and you can look to get bloody on the bot side as fast as possible.
Also really enables a lot of side lane comps because you can actually play through mid, defend that tier 1 tower mid really, really effectively. It is going to be the Zin here, so now we have to see, do Damwon want to match picks here? Do they want to go towards a jungle here? Or are they going to go for a big mid lane pick here for a Showmaker and mix things up?
They can pick anything, right? You can go Leona here and ban away things like the Thresh, like Rakan as well. Support can be picked. You can match jungle here and pick something like Trundle or Kiana into the Xin Zhao. Or you can just play it safe and pick Syndra and ban away too. All their options are in their hands, and we saw how effectively T1 used red side to win against the blue side with a last pick support. This time around, looks like Damwon's going to go for the Rakan, maybe ban away things like the Leona.
Well, not picking jungle here might cost them the second ban phase, I have to say. When Damwon
Shit,
had proactive engage, when they had proactive engage in the last team, they looked so much more confident, so much more dominant in the early game. Seeing Barrel back on this Rakan after a stellar game 4 is a good look for Damwon.
And it's building the beginnings of a way to take down Gumayusi on this Aphelios.
Oh,
Rakan
choked.
goes in, the Graves ult over the top, the Ziggs ult over the top. If there is another dive buddy drafted here from Damwon, someone who can fly into that back line and really threaten them, you're going to have an overwhelming amount of damage there to really be able to punish. For Damwon, it's all about denying the support pairings here to keep this Aphelios safe, because they already have a lot of the tools they need to actually kill it off.
At the end of the day, in this draft, respect to T1, they look at their rookie members and they say, we will give you your comfort picks. Faker and Carrier will wait, they will take their time, they will suffer these additional bans. Remember that away, see how deep the pool goes. The support pool evolution in this series has been game-defining. 2 more champions limited. Now, Rakan locked in. Damwon Kia won't have the luxury of a last counter pick. What does Carrier have up his sleeve?
You expect some kind of engaged spot with Kiana banned away. Are we going to get Canyon's Talon for game 5? We indeed are, and what does that open up? That opens up last pick for Showmaker. Cassidy ban coming in makes me wonder if T1 want to blind pick some kind of control mage.
And this just makes a lot of sense. You know, I talked about the beginnings of the composition to be able to set up this sort of dive composition, and that is what you need.
We're doing that AP thing, right? Or did I switch it back?
To pair up with that Rakan, it's going to be a blind Azir here for T1, and we have to find out what is the support pairing, because a lot of these common ones are already taken off the table here to keep Gumayuchi's Aphelios safe.
Yeah, expecting some kind of engage, some kind of follow-up. We talked about Carrier's Silas, but I don't think it's going to come out. Showmaker has Syndra available, he has Orianna available, he has Control Mages available, but it's just going to be the blind pick, the Zillion pick into a blind composition of Damwon where they can pick some kind of DPS mage in mid now instead of some kind of burst mage.
Exactly, it was really interesting. When Damwon was hovering the Azir, I was saying, well, that would be a really good answer. So they've kind of taken away this high DPS champion from Damwon and then picked the Zillion because it's about the burst. The Zillion can be pretty effective into the Zoe, but he has been lights out on this champion all year long.
Both these teams know each other so damn well. Ghost was hovering Azir to taunt Faker. Carrier was hovering Zoe to taunt Showmaker. I think both of them knew exactly how this draft would pan out from the first 3 picks. And man, these compositions are spicy. Huge team fight for T1. Huge scaling for T1 on the opposite side of Damwon. Really big pick potential. Really good single target damage and a lot of range.
The range is such an X factor because while the scaling is there for T1, Ziggs, Zoe, you have to be able to close the gap. You have to be able to actually get in on them. And their engage tools are very limited. As T1, you're basically relying on a flank, you're relying on speeding someone up as a Zillion, sending them in. Damwon on the other side has go buttons. They have the Rakan. The Rakan falls in with the Talon. Graves ult over the top. The Ziggs ult over the top. They can fish for picks with the Zoe as well if they control vision. So it is Damwon with the more proactive comp. And if the series has been assigned so far, it's the teams that have the ability to play proactive that have been winning.
Now it all comes down to this, an entire year of hard work for both of these organizations. T1 finding their 5-man as we entered Worlds, now find themselves in a Game 5 versus Damwon Kia, looking like one of the strongest, if not the strongest team in the world. But only one of these teams can advance to the World Finals.
And for one man on that stage, Faker, it has been much more than one long year. He has been trying to get back to the World Finals for 4 straight years, has been trying to win for 5 years. This is a man who's synonymous with dominance in League of Legends, and he's one step away.
The stakes could not be higher. This is the beginning of the end for Khan's last dance, or Faker with 5 years of an empty international.
God damn it, I really tried for that. Ah!
Pressure builds. Flash is what's on the line, of course, for now in his finals appearance. Can't get too far ahead of themselves. The hard work does not stop here, even if you can find
again.
Empty hands for Khan is highlighted. The loss will send him away from the world of League of Legends. Everything here, you can see no more aggressive 5-man from the outside. Nobody wants to risk it all. On a 5v5 at level 1, both teams just laying down what vision they can, setting up lines of skirmish and giving respect to the opposite side.
And this is where it's about who's going to step up in that final game. Will the rookies rise to the occasion here or crumble against the overwhelming amount of experience
no mana frag
their opponents have?
Yeah, this is the 3rd time Damwon are in an international 5-game series. Against Mad Lions, they triumphed. Against RNG, they fell. And now against T1, they're currently 1-1.
Oh, no!
T1, no strangers to them as well. Faker especially.
Faker and Showmaker naturally matchable.
I'll take it!
One, they're already trading blows. Showmaker really can to come out on top as both sides top the corrupting potion. I do want to cast our eyes down to the bottom side of the map. Last time we saw the Zillion, we talked about the greed. It can fall behind early. It can be picked apart, and it was not picked apart by Damwon Kia. But this time around, it's a different matchup. And in this matchup, we don't even need to talk about bot lane anymore. I take it back.
They are in game.
24/7.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where it's blood in the water in mid lane. That draws junglers. If they are trading this aggressively, both of these guys have already used 2 corrupting potion charges, 20 seconds into laning, and Faker's still low, having done so.
I'm kind of thinking about
Down unleashed on
Rylai's.
the bot side of the map. Owner solo started, both junglers pathing top side. Ghost has TP, so 3 teleports on the side of Damwon. Gumayushi running the heal for more combat summoners, expecting T1 to have the bot push. Mid and top will be contested.
Absolutely, and T1 trying to play aggressively through that, utilize that range advantage. Get the green gun here on the Aphelios, get the push, and try to harass this Ziggs down, try to punish that champion here at level 1.
Yeah, early game so important with priorities. We saw Owner getting double crab on the Jarvan prior, and it looks like T1's bot lane have so much push in this lane, poking out Damwon's bot lane. Faker.
All that's left is biscuits for both mid laners. High stakes trading here in the early game. Neither jungle in the area, so they both continue to do so. But Showmaker taking the bad end of a lot of these trades. Off the biscuit just to gain a little bit of health. He does get pushed in anymore, but high stakes across every lane. Good news for the side of T1. That early lane phase is paying off. They get level 2 first in the zillion. They're able to keep up that
Good
pressure
pull.
early on, and Aphelios' first guns are just so solid for early laning.
And it feels so critical for Faker to have a good start coming off of that last game. Showmaker absolutely running over T1 with the LeBlanc, and it's been a back and forth battle between these two. Whoever gets the edge here in game 5 could be the critical member.
And Kana on Kennen, his most played throughout the entire year. We talked about comfort for Gumayushi. Faker will get cancelled there by Canyon. This is comfort for Kana. He can't afford to have a game like game 3, where yes, T1 won, but his impact was very, very little until the final fight. He needs to make sure he's on point in this 5-game series.
Pressure to do so, and now supported by Owners. He moves into the top side. Khan locked up, Khan stunned.
You're
Rest
fucked.
taking first blood again to T1 in 4 out of 5 games.
Khan first blood in what could be his final game here potentially at Worlds. That's gotta get the nerves going. We'll see if they can make a play here on the other side, but it's the TP down, it's the flash down, and Owner did not have to expend his.
Yeah, and it's a cannon wave as well, so it looks like Kana can save his TP as well if he wants to. He could run back to that lane pretty happily with his E. Save TP for bot lane. T1's bot lane have so much push and can start forcing Ghost and Beryl back to unlock Keria on the Zillion to move towards top side first, and now you have a TP advantage on top of that to keep them safe. And if Damwon want to push out bots, 1 TP ward behind, that could be a double kill if Kana's level 6. So this early game so good for T1.
Certainly is, and of course for the bottom side, they've opted for a TP for Ghost, and while that can be helpful in skirmishes across the map, it means they don't have any
Boom!
very low kill pressure onto the Aphelios and the Zillion here. It'll be difficult for them to find anything without more jungle support. You can see Showmaker poking his head around on the bottom side of the map, giving us a little thumbs up. They do have solid vision control there to try to mitigate any potential bottom side plays, but for now, T1 400 gold lead sitting pretty comfortably in this early game.
Yeah, Damwon doing a good job though tracking Canyon. They spotted him down on the Krugs. Then they put a ward on Raptors. They have multiple wards, 3 in fact, across that bottom side river. They've got a pink on top side, trying to keep Khan safe. So they are trying to play with respect to Owner, who got that first blood and is going to have a strong early.
I think the big thing for Damwon in their wins is just they unlock the game through mid. They have so much agency with their mid jungle to push Faker back and keep him under his tower. But for now, it feels like they aren't able to force anything out of Faker. They don't.
I just bought Rylai straight up. Fuck with me.
Once he hits level 6, he should be able to negate ganks pretty easily. Has TP up, will probably use that to get back to the lane, and will scale very, very strong the longer this game goes on.
Exactly, it's all about the setup, as you said. In those previous games, it was about landing a scatter, in comes Canyon, landing a chain, in comes Canyon. And this time around, they don't have that easy setup, and it's Owner circumventing that river ward here, looking for a potential lane gank. How close to 6 is Kana?
Ticking, eyes on the experience bar. Lands the mark, that's 2. Want 3 for the stun, and already you can see Owner's recall. Looks like that will not be their opportunity, but Khan sweating just a little bit, not entirely certain where the enemy jungler is.
Canyon has a small camp advantage right now. Has base, that Beryl notoriously runs mid on the first base from Bolt. He knows Ghost has TP.
I waited so long.
So Keria showing in Bolt here, give Damwon some kind of window in the mid top side right now with Beryl being around. He can find some kind of engage and help Damwon unlock this top side of the map, which is struggling, especially in top lane as Owner finds Canyon.
In the area, Showmaker's right behind him, has the heal as well.
I'm a fucking moron.
Owner forced to flash out early.
Yeah, good flash. If the slow connects, Showmaker can flash over the wall and chase him down.
Oh, Papa!
He knows he needs to flash before any kind of slow or CC comes through.
Especially because they know Beryl is missing and Carry was not in position to actually match the roam. So you have to play with respect to the fact that you would be in a 2v3 situation. If
I
you do
fucked
get
that up
caught.
so hard.
Dom1 as a result will take that topside scuttle. They have a little bit of tempo here on the map now, and Owner is going to be pushed back into kind of this defensive posture.
Faker still yet to base, expecting him to TP back towards the mid lane. Ghost saved his TP in case anything kicks off topside. And the difference we saw from all the 4 games and this
I should have
one now
ulted
is
earlier.
Ghost has TP.
Like a
Normally
dumbass.
we saw 4v4s up towards the Herald, but Ghost saving it means if Damwon are the ones first to pull the trigger and go towards the top side, Ghost will be able to match a 5v4 numbers advantage.
And on the other side of the table, it's Kana who actually saved his TP. Khan had to TP back. Kana did not invest his. So if T1 play towards bot side, they're the ones with the man advantage. Whereas if Dom1 can play towards top side, they will have the extra man.
And cross-mapping is what we've been seeing all series long.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing to keep your eye on as well is that the Zillion has made it through this lane phase relatively unscathed. There has not been room to put a lot of jungle attention down here. And that just means that Damwon Kia, again, are going to have to solve the puzzle of the Zillion, something they struggled with very heavily the last time we saw it come out.
They absolutely did, but I will say they were less all in on one little point of damage. You know, against the Zoe, yes, the sleep can one-shot you, but Zoe doesn't have to commit the same way that a Syndra has to spend the ultimate and really commit to that. You know, Ziggs, I don't think it's as much of a commitment as that of the MF and the Jarvan, where you're just dropping all these ultimates to get a kill. So I think that the Zillion is still going to scale incredibly well, still going to be a big threat, but Dom1 have better ways, I feel, to deal with it in this game than they did in the previous.
Yeah, a lot more kind of zone control. They can use the Zoe to kind of pop it before actually engaging or using any big cooldowns like the Unleashed power from Syndra. But here it is. T1 moving towards the top side to contest the Herald. Ghost has TP who just based, so he can match. It's going to be a 5v5 for this Herald. This could be game deciding if one team decides to pull the trigger and commit to a full engage. Kana is split and doesn't have flash for 10 seconds.
Felio's perfect guns for a fight like this. Red and White Canyon leaping up the wall, but has been stunned, has been locked up. It looks like Herald will just drop in favor of T1. Damwon Kia, do they want to keep this fight going? That's going to be a Sleepy Zen. Debating non-committal CC. They don't have to overextend for anything. Kerio is level 6 though, makes this so hard for them to keep going. For now, T1 just taking the Herald and walking away unscathed.
Very cool.
If he full commits there, what's the follow-up? Maybe a Ziggs ult could come in, but then Kana's positioning is great, and Canyon was a little bit zoned away as the fight started. T1 get the Herald, and they get out.
And you have to remember,
So Faker is a mid laner.
So if all 5 members of Dom1 are piling in towards this left target,
Who is he
Faker gonna
playing?
sweep in behind you on the Azir. So good
Zoe?
positioning there from T1. Kana in some trouble.
In the area, Barrow leaping through. That's going to be the knockup flashing forward, getting the ult down. Makana exhausted, will get dropped. Canyon takes the kill.
It doesn't feel like that was the flash to go for from Kana. Expending that is a pretty big tool to use. The exhaust easily shuts it down from Barrel. They are able to get the kill. And now
I almost feel like playing
Kana is gonna
Escape from
be set pretty
Tarkov.
far back on this top side, not going to have much pressure on the Graves whatsoever for the next couple minutes.
And giving a kill over
I honestly should have
now
given it to
actually
Thresh.
He's unlocked on the map. What a powerhouse jungler he has been the last 2 years. I think undisputedly the best jungler in the world for the last 2 years. Playing Talon, an assassin jungler that can find his way into fights and solo carry them if he can find the picks. The only trouble is he's up against the Zillion. Carry as the Zillion, which was phenomenal
what the
in
fuck?
T1's victory in the previous games. And now they're sieging onto this bot tower. Owner has Herald, Faker has TP.
Gumayushi able to steal away a plate there. Power the chakra when you're so close. Your attack speed is so high, he just shreds through it.
Oh, he's playing his ear.
Kia arrive in time to make sure they don't lose anything else. That said, Owner
I believe.
available on the bottom side. Barrow and Canyon are a menacing duo. If Owner overstays or overextends. With Zillion in the area, though, Owner doesn't have to be too scared.
Yeah, T1 are down to scrap because Faker actually based the TP back towards mid lane on the wave. Did not want to allow Showmaker to have
Okay.
and then move into the river. So T1 do commit the teleport. They want to control river. They want to be able to get back down here and drop the Herald to really make good of their investment on top side.
Yeah, it all started with drafted, isn't it? The second we saw the Aphelios locked in, the second we saw Carry as Zillion, we knew exactly where T1 would be playing. And even better for them, they got themselves a Herald too, so now all this gold is going to go into Gumayushi's back pocket. He's been a bit quiet this series, other than the Jhin game, who already had Zillion next to him. This time around, a lot more gold's funneled into him.
Camille
This
isn't
is
that
gonna be
bad.
his opportunity to really shine in this kind of high pressure situation here. Stepping forward, trying to grab that last plate, not quite able to do it. It's just one auto, and not sure that you want to walk into the recon for that one.
The debate, though, you have to respect it. And again, getting your comfort pick in a game 5 is so excellent to have. But then the expectations on the rise. Gumayushi needs to make it out of there. He's been sped up. Good slow from the Graviton to stop.
They
it.
banned one of our
Follow the
players.
Barrel, but that's a sleep connecting. Recon ready to kick the fight off. Carry has to debate where the ult's going to go. He has already used it on his carry, but he could still drop in the end. Double bomb, the knockback. Gumayushi now in trouble. The heal coming out. Tries to fire back with the ultimate, but it will not work. Ghost grabbing the kill.
The satchel so nice there from Ghost. Immediate knockback on Gumayushi as soon as the revive comes through. where we cannot get back to the tower. Does go down. And while Faker is pushing mid, he's getting a farm advantage. He did take a play. It does mean a big kill onto Gubishi. Both summoners down, Zillion ult down, Zillion exhaust down, and Damwon get the Dragon to boot.
Yeah, they're not playing through mid as much anymore now. They're just trying to match lanes and try to find picks. Showmaker with a massive bubble to the wall to make sure Gubishi dies. He lost both summoners, but the trade-off is Faker gets some plays and is a little bit ahead in CS. If this bubble connects, Faker would be in trouble.
Fighting out, that's the knockup, but Canyon's in the area. The knockback is there. Barrel now in trouble, but Faker's gonna make it out to safety. Good damage trading back. Barrel flashing a little bit early, but it doesn't know where the Zin is, so it doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, I think he was a bit scared there because the wall was pushing him up against the wall.
Fuck does that
on the
mean?
river too, so he had nowhere to go. Showmaker's gonna push out the wave and look to base.
We'll have to see now what the next step is here for T1. Really kind of just another support flash. A lot of flashes down on the T1 side. It does feel like there's a good opportunity here for Damwon to try to punish over these next couple minutes with no flash on Keria, Gumayushi, or Faker, as well as Kana. Those are targets that you can really look to punish, as Canyon is having a great early game here.
Yeah, look at this again. We can see Damwon not even going mid. There's a mid wave, but Showmaker wants to force something in bot, whether it's a summoner or an ult. They want to make sure Damwon's bot lane can contest the push. Look at that bubble. Even in a minion wave, manages to connect. Barrel with the follow-up, and as you said, Azale, the satchel charge from Ghost to push Gumayushi back. If he instantly flashed right now, he would be fine, but he thought he could save it. In the end, ends up using it and dies anyway.
Miscalculates, doesn't account for the satchel there, and Khan now back to this top side. Since Kana has died, he's lost all pressure in this lane. Owner gonna go.
Going forward.
Itchy ear.
Give as far back as he can. Blast back on the same flash forward. Should be an easy kill. Pick up. Owner can grab that one.
Yeah, quick and easy kill. Can't force the flash. Owner trades it off. Really good win becomes lightning through the bush. And Owner in these early games has been fantastic for T1 at getting early kills. Yes, they got the Herald, and he has been dropping neutrals throughout the series. But when it comes to first bloods and forcing on lanes, he's finding his opportunities against the world champions.
And that's Khan just getting a little bit greedy for those plates. Want to try to pick up the additional plates. Didn't respect the fact that Owner could be up there. And two relatively early deaths, but it hasn't set Khan back much. Really, once you're on the shield bow in this matchup, if you don't just get devastated in the early game, it's so hard for the Kennen to really pressure you in the 1v1 whatsoever. You do need the additional man there to kind of get through the sustain and the tankiness that this Graves has.
This game is so even. 14 minutes in, Dragon spawning in 2 minutes 50 seconds. Herald will be up in around 30 seconds to a minute. Both teams want to look to contest.
I'm interested in this LCK match. Is that what it's called? LCK?
Damwon are accumulating on sides. There was 3 top, 3 bottom. Running towards the top side. Canyon.
The wall goes invisible, but right into the hands of Owner, and Carry is going to leap over. Has the blast cone as well.
Faker.
Back out to safety. He's going to try to push it back. Canyon just going for some parkour, I guess. Not a lot to be gained there, but doesn't lose anything. In the meantime, Ghost manages to get a tower, so distraction.
Yeah, Faker couldn't actually find the angle. It looked like his soldiers stopped moving as soon as they hit the wall, so they didn't actually reach through into that corridor there to actually block Canyon. So he's able to get out, does put on some pressure. Bot lane tower gets executed by Ghost. And Damwon securing themselves a small lead, which could be equalized by this potential Herald here if Owner can get it and grab a tower of his own.
Yeah, definitely a really risky play there from Canyon, but having no ult means he's just going to run towards the bot side. Kana has no tower behind him, so if Canyon can wrap around here, he could look for him as T1 pressure this top side. They're leveraging Kana's TP here to make sure that they can get this objective, but look at Canyon.
Gonna be big. Engage on the bottom side. Canyon now stepping forward into Kana, not afraid. Despite 2-level discrepancy, still willing to commit for that one, knowing he has Ghost behind him. Kana backing off, ultimate gone, so his TP pretty useless in the fights to come until that cooldown's back up.
Yeah, and flash gone as well, even more important when it comes to these next fights. T1 are going to get themselves the Herald, expecting it to go towards mid unless they just want to crack open this top tier one.
You gotta give a lot of credit.
Can we please load? Oh, coffee.
Put this pressure onto Kana to expend those resources. Flash ulti, those
That's
are
good.
What makes this champion.
Do I do another
Every
Box of
time
Joe
it's up,
marathon?
They seem to be able to find an angle to pressure him.
I don't stop streaming until I... That's gotta be bad for my health.
You're probably thinking, yeah, we could actually fight this dragon as long as we have the setup. Without them, why would you even bother trying?
It gets harder as we get later into the game because they do not have it's hard for them to move into Fog of War and place vision. You are against a zone.
Zee is a hard champion to play.
It's very hard to regain control of the side of the map without pushing.
Oh, I should move my chat again.
Absolutely. They also don't really have any.
I also don't know if it's still blocking it or not. I don't know if it blocked it in the first place.
Utilizing that Zillion speed, but that gets so hard when you are playing from behind. If Damwon grab this Infernal at that third dragon, whoever has setup at the Drake is going to be so advantaged because T1 walking blind into this Damwon comp feels near impossible.
It definitely does. And it looks like Kana's just going to catch the bot wave. 4-man grouped up for T1. Similar to every single game, mid-wave contest, 15 seconds on the Dragon. T1 have two options. Just push this mid-wave and go top and trade gold for the Dragon and fight the third. Or push this mid-wave, herald it, and brute force their way into this bot side river. Kana's pushing bot, and he's moving towards T1. Damwon relying on poke to try to push T1 back.
And Kana's actually playing in the jungle. He was trying to hope that he could find Kana on that red buff, trying to path up there. And if he spotted them, he would be able to push him out, maybe even force that ultimate once more.
Bubble.
Now, Canyon off to the side, engaging on Kana. Another ultimate forced out. He will not find an opportunity to use it in a team fight. In the meantime, the Herald has collapsed. He will not be able to break the tower. And you're going to start soloing the Dragon here. It's a tense battle in the mid lane. No doubt if Damwon Kia fight into T1 that they will lose out, but Damwon Kia are not going to let that happen. Finding these pickoffs on ultimates and key cooldowns, now taking the second Dragon of the game.
Yeah, T1 are grouping up to try to into River, but Showmaker and Canyon are picking them apart slowly and surely with their abilities to keep them pushed back. They're going to get the Dragon. They're on
Have you seen my
Dragons now,
baby?
pushing towards that Mountain Soul point, and T1 wasn't able to cross map for anything. Faker might get this tower, but he might also be in trouble.
Yeah, they had a ping. He saw the sleep, so he should be able to get out of there, no problem. But I mean, it just showcased that mid lane skirmish showcases the strength of the composition that Damwon had actually drafted for. They have so much range. They have
Wherever
so much
you are.
It's non-committal damage that they are actually going for. Because Zillion really wants to play in champions
Missed
that
one.
are hard committed to the play when they use their cooldowns, when they spend their damage. Zoe is not that, and neither is Ziggs, which makes T1's job so important, playing around vision.
True.
Khan, relatively unafraid at this point. 2-level advantage over the Xin. Level 8 carry off to the side. He's going to be there for the utility. Owner, of course, with the smite will take the blue away, but Canyon doing some similar maneuvers on the top side of the map. Despite that, Faker's still sitting pretty comfortably in this lane phase. Showmaker running out of mana, but no bubbles connected yet, so Faker will be fine for now.
Yeah, the good news for T1 is all three outer towers are below 20% HP. You can see it on the minimap. They're all so low, and they should be standing gold for them. The problem is Canyon is absolutely everywhere. First, he's in bot pushing Kana back. Now he's in top, making Faker scared. And T1 just have to be very, very careful at face-checking bushes.
Fudge.
Now it looks like they're going to group up and contest the bot side river.
It's been this battle for vision just constantly. Barrel moving around, Canyon moving around. And I wonder if we see him go towards something like the Umbral Glaive to play even more heavily for that vision control. Owner now just going to cover Kana, so they will be able to finally get a tower here. You have to think, collect some of that gold. And quietly, T1 is scaling, so that is kind of what you're relying on here on the T1 side. Is yes, it's difficult to engage, but you have Azir, you have Aphelios, and the game state is relatively slow moving.
And Aphelios isn't going dominant. He's not
Her
looking
fucking
for a
bird
direct fight.
flies,
He's looking to
doesn't
hit
it?
as hard as he possibly can. Guarantee he's maxing lethality second on the passive stats. Your abilities hit like a truck with this build at 2 items.
And it's a squishy, squishy team over on the other side. They don't have an overwhelming amount of physical damage, so tabbies weren't the name of the game here. It's actually Merc Treads for the soul laners from Damwon, because it's double AP soul
Close
laners
one.
for T1, which makes that lethality, that makes that collector that much more valuable.
Yeah, for now, it's just still mid-wave contests and cross-map trades. As we saw, bot tower for top tower. Now T1 are probably going to focus up towards the top side, and maybe Damwon want to match the play because there's nothing to trade off.
Oh, what are you doing?
So Barrel's going to base, move out towards the top side, you expect, and try to place some vision down.
Well played, Andy. Well played.
There's still a pink ward in T1's jungle that could really hurt them if Khan looks for a TP behind. Kana can match though, and still very, very even game. We saw the goal a couple seconds ago, and everyone's basically even.
A lot of pressure builds in these states. You have to imagine whatever team can break down the access to the jungle will gain control a little bit more over the mid lane. Neither side budging quite yet, and Baron already up and available. Next Drake in 2 minutes. Teams have a bit of time to farm up and hit those next spikes, but every single bubble could be a death sentence. Every single wall could have a talent on the opposite side. T1 have to play carefully.
And T1 playing this really smart. Owner, he goes bot, he actually covers for Kana to push in to take that tower. Then he goes top, he's covering for Faker to try to push in and collect that tower. T1 are trying to knock down these tier 1s to complete their 2-item power spikes prior to the next dragon. And they're really committing heavily to doing this so they can be at maximum power. It just feels like we're building towards this potentially climactic fight at the 3rd dragon where everyone wants to be ready to go.
Yeah, and all 3 outers are going to fall. T1 are going to pick up that standing gold. And you're completely right. Azale, the next fight will blow the entire game open. But there is a world where Damwon go for Dragon and T1 rush Nash. Azir, Aphelios, this is probably the fastest Nash combo you can get from your carries alone. So T1, if they keep vision towards the top side, they can keep threatening this with these 2 powerhouse late game champions.
But I think it's so difficult to pull off if you just leave Canyon or Khan to solo the Dragon bot side.
Oh, you
Zoe
moron. one.
and Ziggs, and you're playing red side. You can poke over the wall into that Baron pit. I think it makes that kind of play really, really difficult for T1.
On top of that, RNG favoring Don Juan Kia a little bit. You got extra walls for the Talon, you got extra walls for the Zoe. That much
Don Juan.
You can see the map is
Bias
large.
rift.
Just a little bit.
And that's the thing. Poke is going to be T1's biggest crutch in these fights, but grouping up and finding massive engages is going to be big for them. They can look to force Baron if they want. Owner can tank it up,
Canyon's hunting.
and Kana can get into position. Owner,
Snowmaker, got a little bit. Good damage now coming in. Good ult Caria. Just in the nick of time. The knockback there on the satchel again, though. Ghost making it work, but Owner still making it out safety. Canyon wants to come over the wall, but will not overcommit for it.
Again, Domwon just taxing
be behind.
resources prior, and they're coming for this fight.
Faker on the backside of this fight.
Double TP, they're coming from both
Kana
sides.
come in, they're looking to pinch him, they're looking to lock him down. Gumayushi's gonna miss with the ult, that's gonna be big. Canyon off to the side, trying to lock up Kana, trying to get the ult before the fight kicks off. T1 will not find the fight that they're looking for. Damwon Kia retreating so well.
yeah, double TP invested, and now Damwon are going to chase him down. The Dragon's up, and just like you highlighted, they can't consolo it while Damwon forced T1 back. They can't look to trade for Baron, and now T1 find themselves in an awkward situation where they have no TPs, they're losing the third Dragon. Maybe they can push something for down mid.
Khan soloing the objective. Kana off the side has the flash, has the ultimate up and available. Look to get things kicked off. Gumayushi very strong at this point in the game, but they cannot.
I was very, very lost in that team fight. I cannot lie.
Just playing it out way too well. I mean, they're marking all the options here for T1. They force out the Xin ult, the Xin flash,
Ah,
the
fuck.
Furious ult as well. They mark both sides on the
Canyon!
flank, but they're going in.
Going over the wall. Kana off to the backside. Kana instantly with the two-man ultimate Ghost.
I'm
in
fucked.
No man's land, but Gumayushi has already taken down Barrel. The push back now onto Khan. T1. Barrel caught sleeping, and now all of T1 moved to the Baron.
They've got to go for Baron now. This is such a big window for them. 2 members down. Canyon is still alive though, and Faker push low.
Yeah, Canyon's up towards the top side, though. He's right behind them. Soft launch comes out. The Zinni ult is used.
Communication. Canyon ready to come over the wall. It's going to tick away in just a second. Faker needs to make a way out. He has to flash out to safety.
Huge.
T1. They're not going to have an opportunity to take the Baron.
Showmaker's poke pushes him back. Canyon was in a perfect position to pick up multiple kills there. T1 had a small window to go for it, but Showmaker slams the door and does not allow T1 to go for the Baron.
The great play from Showmaker, but the miscommunication costly there for T1. Not communicating on who's going to use what first. Zillion ult comes through, the Zonius is used, and then Domwon are just waiting it out, so Faker's even forced to flash out as a result. But here it is one more time in the Axe Effect replay.
Kana's positioning almost won T1 the
Hit the
entire
back.
series. He managed to get onto 3 people, force out summoners, and instantly popped Barrel. And from there, T1 was able to dissect the
look
rest
at
of the
live.
fight. TP coming in from Khan, gets shut down. Flash was used as well, but it's Showmaker's poke that makes sure Faker can't get to that Baron pit.
Yeah, and at live, we saw Kana actually forced out there, almost went down to Canyon, but the sleep landing, and again, it's just playing red side of the map when you have poke, makes it so hard for a blue side team to actually play towards Baron.
Especially with the mountain map, as Dracos was talking about, 3 minutes on the Dragon. T1 have 3 minutes to control the top side, 3 minutes to push that one back or look for a Baron start, control the bot side river, and look for Showmaker, who has no flash.
I mean, if T1 are not first to the Dragon for this climactic fight for Soul Point, they just can't enter. They have to be there first. They have to be controlling vision and fighting as Dom1 try to poke in, much like this. Because if you show up second, you will always get poked out. You will always have your cooldowns really taxed by Dom1.
But right now, mid lane tower has not broken yet. T1 holding onto that one strong. It is so much easier for T1 to push into Don Juan Kia territory. And yes, they are taking a risk with every bubble that comes out of Showmaker. But for now, T1 holding strong, holding their ground next to this objective, daring Don Juan Kia to walk into them, to walk into Fog of War and try and contest this.
These next few minutes might decide who goes to the World Finals. T1 currently have control. Kana has no flash though. Faker trying to force Barrel out of his own jungle. Poke coming in from Showmaker to try and find some vision. T1 contesting midway. Still 2 minutes on the Dragon.
2 teams chasing history here, and Faker looking like he wants to go in.
But the shuffle will go wide. Instantly, the Ziggs ult to punish. He goes golden this time. The bubble, no. Zoe coming in, not quite hitting the timing appropriately. The bubble now coming out on this Faker, but this time the timing is clutch from the Zillion. They will at least get that ultimate. But Kana
Canyon's hunting.
waiting in the wings, waiting in the darkness. Talon on the flank, Kennen on the flank. who can find the angle. 1 minute and 46 seconds till the Dragon. No major objectives on the map, but maybe Damwon
Sion can just ult me.
Yeah, Damwon have a window now. Khan had no flash. Faker was looking for him, but he has to base now. He hasn't got TP for around 30 seconds, so Damwon will get the mid push, and they can control either side of the river that they choose. It's probably going to be bot side because 1 minute 30 seconds and set up just like you were talking about, Azael, with Zoe means T1 are going to have a very tough time face checking, but Damwon have a lot of tempo and a lot of time to play with now.
And you can feel the pressure they're mounting onto T1 as they look for this engage here. But yes, even though you're sped up by the Azir ultimate is not the strongest engage tool.
Azael, Faker's hungry. It's been 5 years. It's been
4 years since am a moron and haven't been
like
thinking about the jungle.
But it almost backfired, and now T1 slowly re-establishing map control as they come out of base.
1 minute till Mountain Soul. Only for Damwon Kia. T1 needs to take this away. They need to deny this. The extra stats would be massive in the coming fights, but T1, when they have to set up first, have such an incredibly powerful composition.
And T1 do have the setup in the river first. The question is, can they answer these pushing waves? Oh, you're going to be poked out. And that's shield bow down. That's actually a big deal. He can heal back up off of this wave. But again, every time prior, they're forcing these resources out of T1 with the poke.
Yeah, one bubble could be the end of T1. They have no way out of it. They have no Mikhails, no QSSs, no cleanses. So one bubble hits and Showmaker finds a target. They're all but dead. Gumayusi needs to lifesteal up on the next wave. There's still 20 seconds left. Owner just gets poked and poked out further and further. He needs to lifesteal as well with his passive. We'll see if T1 can sustain through Showmaker's relentless assaults.
Turret set up in the mid lane. T1 can just march down mid, but Damwon Kia on the flank. Not to be underestimated. Trying to force them to fight into them. Khan, if you can use the Kennen ult defensively, it will be so incredibly oppressive, but Damwon Kia don't have to commit to anything yet. They have the Scuttle Crab, they have the vision.
The Baron starts. Kana has a fantastic position. He's going to get spotted though. T1 are all in the pit.
Lower and lower, 6K. Will they commit for this one? Gumayusi is healed up entirely. Showmaker off to the side. The bubble will not connect. T1 now retreating. Baron healing back up. T1 not able to find that one, but the mountain has respawned. Teleport on Faker, teleport on Kana. They can come back if they need to. Damwon Kia marching down to the Mountain Soul.
Canyon, the patience coming in. Faker's TPing back. They know they're going towards Dragon. They have to force it, but Faker's a little bit split. Owner's going to fight Canyon!
Canyon off to the side. One-shots him! Carrier cannot push the ultimate fast enough. That's massive. The jungler now done. Canyon trying to parkour his way out to safety. He's been locked up. Maybe they can take down the jungler in the meantime.
Fuck! That was a bad engage.
They can turn. They can set their sights instead on the Soul if they want to. They have everything in their court. It will just be a 1-for-1 at the end of the day for T1. But Canyon buying so much time.
With neither jungler available here, are T1 just willing to flip the Baron? There's assist pings onto it. They know they're about to lose Soul here. They lost control of the mid lane. But they don't have anyone to tank up the Baron. I don't think they can get anything. And despite the traded kills, Damwon get the Soul.
Are they starting it? Carrier and Gumayusi are hovering around this Baron pit for so long. They have the red and white guns. T1, there's no junglers. This could be a flip of a coin. Everyone's hearts are going to stop when this Baron gets low. T1 needs to make a decision soon. Faker has the ultimate to turn.
Bubble. Connected to Gumayusi. Carrier in the area. He has the ultimate. He's going to use it. The resurrection now coming out. Barrel not going to follow up any further. Key cooldown's gone. T1 have to be careful until those are back up and available, but both teams keep anteing up. Both teams keep raising the stakes.
Damwon are just relentless here, and you have to feel that they are closing in on this finals. Showmaker and Ghost relentless with the poke. Every time T1 tries to get the setup around the Dragons, they deny it with poke, with skill shots landing, pushing T1 back time and time again. And Canyon with the positioning here, making Owner pay for the face check.
Yeah, phenomenal patience from Canyon there, waiting for his moment to strike, and he's just buying so much time for the rest of Damwon. Look at them on the minimap, pushing in mid, getting mid tier 1, getting Dragon, forcing these waves into T1, so their tempo is just falling slower and slower through their hands. T1, I think they're starting up a Baron. They're just going to force it. Damwon have to match the play. Ghost has ultimate soon, and Showmaker's in position to poke. They're going all in for this.
Such a fast play. Kana has TP available. Graves already TPing first.
It was close.
A little bit like Canyon off to the side. He's going to leap over the wall, but he has no access to the pit. Canyon's been zoned away. The Baron, it should drop in favor of T1. T1 will secure it. Damwon Kia, can they follow up? Barrel off to the side. Xin Zhao completely isolated. T1 not looking for a fight. T1 looking to walk away, but Canyon is on the flank. Showmaker is on the flank. Barrel is coming in, and the Zigzalt is doing big damage. T1, it is fight or die in the final moments, and Showmaker finds Carrier. Faker getting burned down, but Kana, can he turn it back? Kana, can he make it happen? It is not enough. Damwon Kia will not be stopped.
That might be it. They have a top wave. 45 seconds on Faker. This could be the winning team fight that pushes Damwon into the finals and shuts Faker down.
down. In the make or break moment, Dom1 come up massive. Acing T1 at the Baron, and they're on the march.
Owner's up in 10 seconds. They're pushing in for the tier 3. Carrier's up in 13. They have a little bit of wave clear, but the carries of T1, there's 20 seconds left.
What do you want to do?
Someone might have it. They might have the game.
They've got the wave. They're pushing in. And here it goes. Damwon Kia looking to break the base. Owner doing what he can to hold on, but he's going to be put to sleep. He's going to be knocked out. He goes gold, and Carrier buying as much base as humanly possible, but the wave is slowly but surely being deleted. Damwon Kia moving in. They are unrelenting in the pressure they put on T1. Gumayusi wants to turn it. It's a big ult. He's going to shut down one. He's going to hold the line for now. T1 will live for another fight.
And you can see the sigh of relief on Carrier's face as Gumayusi and Faker spawn just in time to save the day. Damwon didn't have a wave to play with, but they got one Nexus tower. That's one massive hint in the armor of T1, and there's only one strike left before they fall, you have to imagine.
What a tense moment here, and T1 just haven't been able to find any purchase in this game whatsoever. So when they zone out Canyon there, they hard commit to the Baron, and they do get it. But with the sleep onto Owner, it's a one-way trip for him. He's never going to get out. And then Dom1, such a good job corralling T1 from multiple angles. The Ziggs all coming through and softening them up. And then in goes Showmaker.
Yeah, huge props again to Ghost and Showmaker, keeping T1 there. They knew they wanted the recall, so they just threw abilities into the unknown, and they hit Faker of all people, canceled his recall. Showmaker takes down Keria, and they were so close to ending the game, and you can see what it means to the Damwon coaching staff.
Smiles on the face of the Damwon coaching staff, smiles on the face of Coma. It might mean him taking down his old comrades, his old team, his old organization in T1, but he will do what it takes to make it to this final.
And it's so tough now for T1. You have these players who have the ability to carry a fight. You've got the level 16 Aphelios, you've got the level 16 Azir, but Dom1 will not give you that fight. They have been surgical through this game 5, not stepping a foot wrong, it feels like the whole time. Never giving T1 that opportunity to really unleash with these scaling carries.
Yeah, and there's 1 minute 50 seconds until that Elder Dragon. If you give that to a Zoe or a Ziggs, you're dead in one skill hitting. Gumayusi has
The Rel was greedy.
Going towards that BT, you imagine, or maybe a Guardian Angel of sorts to try and survive through the burst. It's all in Gumayushi's hands. Yes, you're down 3k gold, but you can still fight back versus this Mountain Soul. It's not fight dependent, it's not fight deciding. With a Zillion by your side, with Faker free hitting, T1 can still win the fights if the Cannon can find a miraculous engage. They're still in this. They're down in gold. The problem they have is control has slipped out of their hands, and Damwon own the bot side river.
And if you pull up the minimap, you can actually look at all of the vision down there that Dom1 does have. You know, just looking across that bottom side, they have an enormous amount of wards. Khan pushing forward. They're choking T1 out of this game.
I should have dipped.
Needs to find some sort of a flank, needs to find some sort of a multi-angle fight, but Dom1 are closing the door on every single possibility.
And T1's composition does not have the tools to reliably face check. It is high risk to walk into any bush, to walk into any part of the jungle that you do not know already is safe. We saw it in the previous play when Canyon was able to find that isolated pick on Owner. You see it in Showmaker in the cleanup plays when T1 try to run and are
If you say so, if you say so!
Canyon on the flank.
T1 have to group up, they have to be a team, they have to stay as a death ball, and they have to get Gumayusi and Faker of range to do damage. Showmaker will be the one to stop them from doing that. It's all about mid-wave contest.
A little too late, I guess.
On the Dragon. Look at Canyon's positioning. He's waiting for his prey.
Harold leaping out, playing on the edge there. Gumayusi always confident to step forward. On his comfort pick in a game 5, it was the first big priority. Will it be enough to bring it home? Canyon off to the side, leaping in. Faker unafraid. As Canyon's forced to retreat, they've spotted the flank out from the town. That's big in the fight to come.
There's so much pressure on T1 here. Every skill shot is a question, and they must have the answer, because if those sleeps land, if these bits of poke land from the Ziggs, that can be the end of your world championship.
Look at top wave. Faker has to clear it out. If he shows there, Damwon might just burst down the Dragon, because they know they can TP in. If Faker TPs towards the Dragon Pit, there's a backdoor available unless Faker can clear out this wave. Damwon starting it up. Gumayusi is alone here, but he has to find his way into this fight.
Slow take on the Elder Dragon. T1 have time to work with, but again, a single decision, a single mistake will cost them the game, will cost them their shot at the World Final.
50-50.
TP now coming in. Everything being bet on this smite. Faker goes to sleep. Kana now stepping forward. 3k getting lower. Kana going all the way and trying to lock the thing, but who's going to get it? No! In the end, it is Canyon. When it matters most, he will find the smite, but Gumayusi standing strong on the backside. It does not matter. In the face of the Elder, down.
They got stomped.
Will wipe T1 off the map.
They're going to TP top as well. They have the Elder Dragon. They have a wave. They have everything they need to go go to the World Finals.
And damn old legends and old legacies. Goodbye, Faker. Goodbye, T1.
No!
One and Showmaker. They will defend their title in the finals and look to go back to back.
For every question T1 posed, Dom1 had an answer.
That's too bad.
Game 5 was incredible from them, never allowing the Aphelios, the Azir, to take effect, never allowing them to find that fight. T1 forced into a no-win situation where they have to hard engage, but they don't have the tools to do it. The new era of the LCK has well and truly arrived, as it is Dom1 standing above the rest once more.
T1 fall again in the semis, as they did in 2019. It's gonna have to be 6 years before.
Good game.
Faker can
We
try
fucked up.
again to get a
I fucked up. I gotta piss.
title,
Good game.
but they put up a hell of a fight.
Oh, jeez.
We're back. At the end of the day, it was not enough to stop Dom1 from making their way to the finals. And while Faker will have another dance again, this was Khan's last. This is Khan's last. He will move to the final. One last shot at a trophy that he has waited his entire career to lift.
It's such an interesting series here. Back and forth games. The drafts were so impactful across the entire series here. And I do think Dom1 did such a good job in crafting their composition about what T1 had to offer. They deny so many hard engage tools, so many comfort tools that T1 normally would have looked for. And it almost felt like they had baited them into taking the Aphelios, baited them into taking this Zillion, when it's the situation where it's non-committal damage from Dom1 and it's not going to get a lot of value. Dom1 just playing it out so intelligently. And Showmaker, you gotta love him. This guy is incredible, has the personality, and he is truly a superstar in League of Legends today.
Yeah, you saw Khan's